All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Brett Robinson with CXO Cockpit, and today we're excited to bring you a short 30-minute masterclass on how McDonald's won the BARC Award, which is the Best Practice Award for Business and Intelligence and Analytics using CXO Cockpit as their EPM reporting software. Okay, so just a quick introductions of our presenters today. We have Dan Phillips, who is the VP of Sales for North America CXO Cockpit, myself, and Tim Deege. He is the Manager of Corporate Controlling for McDonald's Germany, who will talk you through how McDonald's Germany has structured their reporting platform. All right, now for the agenda today, Dan Phillips is going to provide an introduction to CXO Cockpit, and then we're going to turn it over to Tim with McDonald's to show us how they've used CXO to create an award-winning EPM reporting system. All right, now in hopes of keeping this webinar within the 30-minute time slot, we ask that if you have any questions, please type them up into GoToWebinar. There's a feature where you can type in comments and questions, and we will respond to your questions as soon as the webinar is over. So with that, let's get started, and I'm going to hand it over to Dan Phillips here to introduce CXO. Dan?
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it. Just a little bit about CXO Cockpit. We founded the company in 2007 by a group of Hyperion consulting experts who continually ran into questions from their clients about the best way to pull intelligent data out of their EPM systems. In many cases, because the company was founded in Europe, in the Netherlands, they were predominantly SAP and Hyperion customers. And so you can see a few of the customers that we've done business with and continue to do business with, both in Europe and in the States, listed below. We're definitely a global company. We've been in business now for a little over 10 years, and we do everything in-house. There's no development that's subcontracted out. So it's a very tight-knit group, and we do our very best to please the customer base, and they seem to be very happy with us. The main thrust behind CXO Cockpit is moving from the triangle on the left to the one on the right. We find that many of our customers and prospects spend an inordinate amount of time pulling their data and preparing their data in Excel or whatnot, which doesn't leave them a whole lot of time to do their analysis and make recommendations for the senior team with their monthly reporting packs. And so what we've done is created a very automated, very standardized process for not only pulling reports, but the associated commentary that really tells the story behind the numbers and gives that level of insights to the reporting organizations within FP&A and within the controllership so that they can produce really high quality reports for their senior team. The traditional environment that we see in most cases is a variety of different data sources, which you'll see on the left, that are then massaged through Excel in an attempt to create reports that are then distributed by email where they're edited, commented on, revised, and so forth. And what turns out is there's a tremendous amount of rework that gets done in this process. And in and of itself, the process is very error prone. And so what we've done is to create a digital performance reporting environment where we connect directly to those same sources of data, but we eliminate a lot of the repetitive massaging, if you will, in that we build all the calculations, we build all of the formatting and all of the reporting into templates that are available within CXO. We prepackage 18 different templates that were built with market-leading CFOs around the world. And that gives us the ability to integrate commentary, We built our own internal collaboration tool so that users can work together in the tool and not have to be chasing down emails and text messages and whatnot. In the effort to create an automated report pack, so we can digitize your complete reporting process and make it mobile, so that your senior team can use, drill down analytics, point of view analytics, and so forth within CXO to gain insights on the operations and financial data that your systems contain. So the end result is we produce a streamlined system where most companies see a 50% reduction in the amount of effort and time that they have to use in order to complete the reporting, and they get that time back to exercise their financial intelligence and operational intelligence to provide really great analytics for the senior team. And that's a lot of what CXO has done in conjunction with McDonald's. And Brett, I think Tim's going to give us a rundown on how they did.
Yeah, all right, great. Thanks, Dan. So now we've all had a chance to meet CXO, what we can do is go ahead and take a look at an award-winning case study. So just for a quick overview of the scope of McDonald's Germany, you can see it's quite a sizable operation with over 2,700 stores and 58,000 employees. One thing to note is they are running on Hyperion Essbase, for which CXO has a pre-built out-of-the-box connector to tie directly in with. So on that note, let me go ahead and make Tim the presenter, and he can go ahead and show us just how they're using CXO Cockpit for McDonald's Germany's reporting. All right, Tim?
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So again, welcome everybody on the call. My name is Tim. I'm working for McDonald's since 3 years now in the corporate controlling department, and I'm going to show you the case study for McDonald's and how we use CXO at our company. I don't think that I need to introduce McDonald's to anyone, so you all know what we are doing and where we are doing our business, but I don't think that you know our current business intelligence landscape, so I'm going to show you an insight of that. Then I'm going to go over the software selection process that we did and why we did choose CXO Cockpit to be our standard reporting tool in Germany. I'm going to show you our processes, users, and reports just on a couple of slides. So how do you use CXO and how it's actually looking like in a live demo before we go to the benefits and what we achieved with CXO Cockpit. So in total in Germany, we have 1,478 restaurants, which are mostly operated by our 238 franchisees. So that means only around 190 restaurants are operated by McDonald's itself, which gives us a total of around 60,000 employees in Germany. So it's a pretty huge company in Germany and worldwide, of course, too. Our department, so the finance systems department, is hung up in the finance department. So we are not an IT department. We are all operating out of finance. And I'm working under Philipp Clausen, who is the department head of this team and who has 4 team members. And we are mostly in charge of doing the reporting systems. And this includes also the front-end tools, as well as the underlying systems like Hyperion Planning and SQL databases. Our BI landscape, let's have a quick glance at that so that you know what our underlying systems are and what CXO is connected to. In the center, we have a central data warehouse, which is storing all of our transactional data. So that means we are pulling all the sales data and product mixes from our registers in every store in Germany, and we are hosting them in an SQL server. On the other hand, which is shown as a cube here on the left-hand side in the center, is an S-based BSO cube, which is used for general ledger reporting, where we transform the data of our month-end closing to make it available for reporting. On the left upper corner, we see our planning layer, which is also Hyperion Planning based. It's for cost center planning, for top-down planning, and also bottom-up planning for our 190 self-operated restaurants. We analyze that data on two ends. So it's one is the S-based ASO cube, which combines the planning layer and the general ledger reporting into an S-based ASO cube. That means we have really the opportunity to do fast reporting, fast aggregated reporting on S-base. And on the other hand, our sales data, which comes from the data warehouse, is combined in the SSAS cube from Microsoft, which we also connected to CXO. And both of these sources are underlying for our standard self-service reporting tool, CXO. How did we come up with the CXO? So we do our software sourcing with a pull principle. So we look at what we really need for our standard reporting. We have a BI landscape. We have a BI roadmap that we were following since 2011, when we implemented Hyperion Planning. And on top of that, in 2013, we implemented CXO. So we thought about what do we really need. We need a really top-of-the-edge S-based integration. It needed to be easy to distribute these reports because we are coming from many, many Excel sheets. So it was an Excel mess. So we wanted to combine it centrally and then distribute it easily. We, as we are working in the finance department, we also needed minimum IT involvement so that we can host CXO on our own. It needed to be easy to create these reports and also not necessarily central. So we have done a huge project also with all controlling employees to create reports and to bring every information into those reports that we really needed. And of course, security was a big topic, which could also be covered by CXO. Okay. We created a long list with the help of BARC, so the Business Analytics and Research Center, which is located in Würzburg, and it's an independent research center focusing on BI. CXO was one of that companies on the long list and made it also to the short list together with, I think I can say it together with Cubeware. But in the end, it was CXO who got the deal from McDonald's because they just were top of the edge in everything that we had in our requirement list, especially the S-based integration worked perfect for us. And we did manage to go live with CXO within 2 months after the installation. So we had the installation, we did a report creation, and we did go live in 2 months, which is pretty good for a company-wide standard reporting tool, I guess. So our processes, they are referring to the BI landscape that I'm just showing you. We have the actuals, our month-end closing. We have the projection, plan, and budgeting, all done in Hyperion Planning in an S-based BSO cube, where the data is transformed and calculated, and then pushed to an S-based ASO cube, which is underlying CXO. And on the sales side and on the products mix side, we have the SQL server, our central data warehouse, which is then transferred into the SSAS cube from Microsoft, which is also then feeding CXO with the data. To give you a glance at our users and how many users are using CXO, we have 30 controlling employees that are heavy users in CXO, as well as our top management. So CEO, CFO are using CXO extensively for self-service reporting. So there's no push reports anymore, no Excel spreadsheets are sent out. It's only self-service reporting for actual projection and plan. On the budgeting side, which we do bottom up, we have 150 cost center users in our headquarters in Munich. They are all using Hyperion Planning to plan their cost centers and then CXO to have them analyzed and to see the current status where they're at, actuals versus budget, and so on. And we do a bottom-up budget for our restaurants, which are the 200 restaurants manager that we have, and they are also connected to CXO. Our reports are not only showing the just month end closing and all the financial data, but also work in progress, which is really important for us because it smoothens the approval process and it shortens the process a lot. We are already showing where are we standing with our budgets from the cost center side, where are we standing with our projection top down from the sales side. And this is all live in the system and connected to the underlying cubes. So everyone who is security-wise allowed to, which also includes the top management, by the way, is allowed to see that work in progress. And when everything is finalized, we just need a short notice to say, okay, that's the final status. Most of the time, they have already reviewed it where we are standing. So the approval process is after that really, really quick and easy. Sorry, one step back. And in the end, there's also the analysis part. So they can analyze the actual status versus different kinds of scenarios that I'm going to show you in the live demo, of course. One thing that I need to mention before we go into the live demo is the style guide that we introduced with CXO, because like I was saying, we came from really many, many different Excel sheets who, by the way, looked kind of ugly, parts of them at least. And we introduced the style guide where we fixed the font sizes, the colors that we are using, also in which order we are showing reporting lines. So our income statement has a fixed order, which is on every report the same. So as a senior management user, you have everything at one glance, and it's always the same look and feel, and not completely different as it was before in the Excel sheets. So then I'll jump into the live demo. I'm going to show you a couple of reports that we did and that are heavily used by our staff. So just a second. So where we always start, to everyone who is allowed to see the income statement, and these are scrambled numbers, by the way, so no need to do screenshots of our income statement. Where we always start is the home page. So you can see a tree which is combining the whole income statement, and you can jump off that home page into every report that is interesting to you at the moment. So when I just look at the operating income, which is higher than the projection, which is fine. That's why it's green. The make opco margins of our own restaurants is below the projection, so you can do your own color coding here. But let me jump into the operating income, which brings us to a butterfly report, and there you can already see our structure. So we always have the same structure with showing KPIs first, then our make opco profitability, the franchise margin, G&A, general ledger, reporting, other operating income, and which brings us to the operating income. It's always the same look and feel, which makes it really easy to navigate. When we look at the columns, we always have the actuals, projection compared, then we have it compared to the plan and compared to prior year, and it's always month to date on the left side, year to date on the right side. And you can also choose whatever you want. When you want to look at the whole quarter, you can select your period. It depends on what you want to analyze. The same report is also shown. This is the folder structure that we use. Of course, it's security-based. You can only see the folders you are allowed to. For all controlling users, we also have controlling reports and the work in progress that I just mentioned. So I'd like to jump into that really quick. And you already see on the thumbnails, it's all the same style. It's financials, financial KPIs. I'll just show the 12-month reporting here as well, which is just a nice financial statement. All months are combined in the columns, and it's again the same structure, so really easy to navigate. And this is work in progress for our current projection scenario in the actual month November. So this is connected to our S-Base ASO cube, which we feed via the BSO cubes every 2 minutes. So we are always on the current status in here, and senior management and also all controlling users can see the current financials and the current status of our projection, which again really smoothens the approval process, because as senior management can review it anytime, they also can ask questions, of course, anytime. We are not using the chat function so far, but we will introduce it in our next release internally, where you then can ask questions right through CXO. So there's no need anymore to write emails. You can just send your question to anyone on that report via a chat, and you get a notification, and you can answer that question, and you always already know which report are you looking at and which figure are you referring to. So that's really pretty handy for our approval process. I'd also like to show you one drill for just an example, our store count. Our actual store count, just loading a second. So here we have the store count of 1,477 restaurants that you can analyze where this is coming from, how many self-operated restaurants we have, how many franchise restaurants we have, and also our comparable status. For example, this is the temp closing, so we can drill into that, and it jumps to another dimension in our S-Base model, which is the store hierarchy, and it shows you that store 914 is closed for 2 months now. It's temporarily closed, and that's a really nice feature that you can drill through different dimensions on the rows. I'd like to show you one last report on the G&A side. So all our cost center owners have access to that, and they can analyze their cost center actuals versus budget or versus mid-year projection, also in CXO, self-service, and also in the current month. So this is all connected. And let me just select one cost center. Sorry. Need to search in here. So then we have one cost center. It's always in the G&A structure. So every G&A report has the same structure again, going through employee costs, travel expenses, occupancy costs, etc. And when you want to review one particular line, it's just a click. So you can see the last couple of months compared. That's a nice feature. And you also can just drill right into it. Our reporting goes onto the general ledger line. So this is really the booking line that we can analyze. And as you can see, it's linked. And when I click on it, it just jumps to another web-based system that we have internally. If I was that cost center owner, it would be single sign-on. It's not the case right now, but just to show you that, it would be going into the direct booking case, and you would be able to rebook those costs or analyze it or have the voucher shown up. And it's just to show you that you can, from CXO, also jump into other web-based systems that we are also using and which is used extensively in our company. So this was my live demo part. If you have any questions in the end to live demo, if you want to see more reports, we can go into that in the Q&A session, of course. I'll just jump right back to the presentation. 1 second. The benefits that that the implementation of CXO brought us is really huge, because in the beginning we were sending plenty of emails after every actual plan or projection cycle, and we really reduced that to more or less just the information. It's now live in CXO and you can review it. So we reduced our email transfer from 20 emails to only 3. Same is for the PDF reports. We were always printing PDFs out of our Excel templates, which we reduced to 4 PDF reports. And those PDF reports are also created out of CXO by using the storyboard. So connecting different reports in CXO. This can be online, or you can bring it offline, like we do it, and print it out as a PDF and then send it. So this also reduced our PDF reports significantly. I already mentioned the approval cycles. It's more or less no cycle anymore. It's just the final approval. There's way less questions asked by top management because they have the self-service reporting. They can drill through it. They can go into every detail. They can jump between reports. They don't need to have a single controller analyze it for them. I was doing the reporting package after every projection, and it took me roughly 1 day when I started at McDonald's, and after the implementation of CXO, it's now down to under an hour. So that reporting package is really more or less just 1 hour Q&A in CXO, nothing else. So it's 1 day of our spent. That is that we spent less in creating these reports. What is also significant is that every user, also outside the controlling department, had SmartView installed on their PC, and we're drilling directly into our S-Base cubes, which can lead to varying numbers. And I mean, those reports were not really nice, and we reduced those users to 0, so no one is using SmartView anymore. Everyone is on CXO, and they have those controlled reports. And it's all the same figures that everyone in the company is looking at. And those benefits were also paying off, because just recently at the BARC convention, our team won the Best Practice Award for Business Intelligence and Analytics for together with CXO. So the project that we did, restructuring our planning landscape and bringing it together with our front-end tool CXO, brought us the Best Practice Award from BARC, which is this, an independent analytics and research center for BI. So that's also pretty impressive, I guess. And if you have any questions in regards to that, please feel free to ask.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in this webinar. And thank you very much, Tim, for providing that overview of what you guys have done over there in Germany. We have a number of questions that we will be sure to respond to immediately. If you have any other questions or would like to further discuss CXO Cockpit as a performance reporting solution, please feel free to contact either Dan or myself at the information provided here. And once again, thank you, and I hope to speak to many of you in the near future. All right, have a great day.